we have another caller on the line, and it's actually a special guest who's going to be joining us, and that's BJ Bliffert. He's actually a sponsored athlete of Aloe Life and just competed in New York at the Kettlebell USA Nationals World Championship Qualifier. BJ, thank you for calling into Forever Young. So happy you could join us today.
Thanks for having me, Kelly. It's a pleasure.
Hi, BJ. And
hey, Karen. How are you?
I'm really excellent, and I'm even happier since I've seen what the products have done for you on a personal level and then a professional level as too.
Oh, I love them. I can't say enough good things about them. They've changed the way I'm able to compete and just the health of my hands overall. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and one of the cool things to get the listeners involved, if you go to foreveryoungradio.com and click on our weekly highlight page, we actually have a before and after picture that you could see BJ's hands of how he's been able to apply the skin gel in his life. It's a very important part of your sport is your hands, BJ. It's you're swinging the kettlebells, you're using both hands. So how has kind of the skin gel by Aloe Life helped you out when it came to be an athlete and competing in your sport?
The before and after picture on the website kind of speaks volumes how the product has helped me. Like you said, my hands are pretty much everything. And if they're in rough shape or they're sore or they're calloused and blistered and maybe a little torn up, it makes it really hard to hang on to the handles of the kettlebell. And then you throw in some sweat and then some fatigue from the training and even on a competition day. All that stuff affects my grip. We combat that a couple ways within the sport by using some chalk and some tactics that you might see gymnastics athletes use, and that just further takes a toll on my hands. And I've found that just after training, applying the skin gel has really, really helped the health of the skin. And typically after a hard training set where, the next two workouts my hands might be a little tender or a little sore, I'm able to go into those training sessions pretty fresh and really not have to worry about toning down the volume or the intensity of the training because I know my hands are going to hold up.
As they say, a picture tells 1,000 words. I can't even imagine how painful those splits were that you endured, over the months and years. It actually would bleed, right?
Yeah, my hands, I get like calluses where normal people would get calluses that do manual labor or do a lot of work with their hands. But because of the drying agents and the chalk and stuff that we use, like you can see in the pictures, I tend to get some splits, like right at the creases at the bottoms of my fingers. It's not only painful when I train or when I compete, but just everyday life, because those types of injuries and trauma tend to happen, in places where you just can't avoid not touching them or banging them on something. So something as simple as grabbing something out of the pantry could send a little shock through your hand. And since using the skin gel, I think the New York competition was probably one of the first in a very long time where I didn't have any splits in my hands going in.
And how did you place in that competition?
I placed first in my weight division.
Doesn't get any better than that, BJ.
No.
This hand picture, as people want to go and view it themselves firsthand, I believe there was only 3 weeks difference from, even though your picture that you first took of how damaged your hands were was about 3 months ago, but the after was about 3 weeks, I believe, after using the skin gel.
That's correct, yeah. The before picture was taken in, I think, towards the end of May or middle of May, and I can tell you that the condition of them didn't improve very much after that trip because we got right back to training. We're always training for the next competition, and then Kelly introduced me to the skin gel probably about 3 or 4 weeks prior to that after picture, and I knew after the first couple applications that it was something that I had to use and had to introduce other athletes to because we all complain about our hands. It's kind of a running joke in the sport. I think the skin gel I think it's a game changer for the sport.
Fantastic. And what other products have you incorporated into your routine of getting ready for competition?
I religiously use the healthy greens. I started using the superfruit concentrate also, and I use those in either green smoothies or I just drink them straight because it's probably one of the only greens products that I've tasted that actually tastes good, that you don't have to plug your nose. It's definitely one of the best ones that I've tried.
Great to hear. I know I love taking it every day, and Kelly can't say enough about it, right, Kelly? I know you.
I can't. I've used it for 9 years, and it was funny. I know BJ really well. I train at his facilities, and it was interesting in the beginning when I'm like, oh, maybe you could try these greens and see if you like them. And he's like, I don't know. Most of the greens I've tried on the market, they're a little lackluster. And I'm like, no, take my word, you'll really like it. And, BJ's the kind of guy who tells it straight up. He's going to tell you if he likes something or if he doesn't like it. And I was really happy when he came back and said, oh, my gosh, I like those greens. They taste good.
I can incorporate them into other drinks, and they don't overpower the drink. Or like I said, if I'm in a bind, I just throw some in a water bottle, shake it up, and just slam it down. It's good stuff. I like it.
Terrific. Do you feel the pickup? Because we have sponsored other athletes. It's such a pleasure to work with you. And what the feedback was years ago, because we're a 23-year-old company, is more energy, more stamina, endurance, and even recovery was better. Would you agree?
I would say that the difference in recovery has been probably the greatest shocker for me. It's hot here in Dallas, and we don't have air conditioning in our facilities, so the training really takes a toll on you. And even sometimes when you don't feel like you're training really hard, you don't realize how much energy you're actually burning. And I think that the antioxidant properties and the ability to help my body recover on a cellular level has been amazing with the Greens product.
Really happy that you're seeing the benefit and on board with Aloe Life, and I believe that they will continue to help you stay a healthy athlete. And I'm sure you know people that aren't so healthy.
Yeah, I definitely do know quite a few, even in the sport where they may train really hard, but they don't necessarily take care of their bodies. And I think that's true in just about any sport where you see some of the people that excel in the sport do so in spite of their training and their nutrition regimes. And it's kind of a shame because I think they could be so much better if they would just find quality products and treat their body the way that they should.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your training schedule. I know you're preparing for a major event in November as part of the USA team, and we wish you a lot of luck on that. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Oh, definitely. Thank you guys for having me.